Neil Robertson to break.
And Judd will be very disappointed to have lost that frame. Missed a black off his spot, which is very, very rare for him. He's been so good at finding an answer when he's been in trouble in matches. Here we see there's a lot of body movement there. I mean, there usually is when Judd plays screw shots, but seemed to be a lot more there than usual. This red on the cushion is tough. Be a big shot to take on. It affords position on the black to the same pocket. I think you've got to take it on, but these are so tough at pace. Lovely pot. Didn't think he was able to play for the black to the opposite corner. That meant he could play it a bit slower to give the pocket more chance to take the red. So, good opportunity to, for the first time in the match, open a two-frame advantage. Good time to do it. As I said in the last frame, good time to find an extra gear.
Nine. 16. 17.
Pink's the better ball for position. I know we won't be thinking about it just yet, but Neil Robertson is on the verge of creating a bit of snooker history. The most century breaks made in the UK Championship is 12. That's held by Ronnie O'Sullivan. And the gentleman just the other side of the perspex here, Stephen Hendry, and
Thank you.
Neil's on 12
23.
at the moment.
$24.
Perfect angle on the blue. If he wishes to go straight into them, just making sure there's no plants on. He seemed to go into them very gently there. Maybe he felt he might have knocked the red in, but he didn't catch it as he intended. And the way he's looking at things here, he's thinking of taking this red into the middle pocket and coming back up for the black. Because he had a look at what he would leave. But that would be a brave shot to take on at this stage. And now it's the safety shot that he's more interested in. No, he has played it. And when you can pot like that, why not? Needs to pull up, but what a wonderful shot. He's a bit unlucky there. Very unlucky.
30.
I think when Judd seen the red going in, he would have been thinking, well, what a shot he's played there, but a bit unfortunate for the cue ball to finish in there.
Yeah, the only thing I'm surprised about it took him
Green
well
ball.
over a minute to decide to play the shot. Perhaps as this final is getting to the business end, he's given every shot as much thought as possible.
Robertson 30.
But I think that was always the shot, the red to middle. And he'll settle for that as well. A little bit unlucky to where the cue ball landed, but a little bit fortunate to leave Judd so awkward.
And the red, the left side of the table, he'd have to play that with the right hand side on the cue ball, and he can't get to it because of the green. He can only hit the left hand side of that cue ball. Oh, that's never going to reach. What has he done here? Wow.
Foul and a miss. Robertson 4.
That's probably one of the worst shots I've ever seen Judd play.
One.
That could be very costly. Didn't want to hit the reds too hard, but he could have afforded to hit them at a little bit of pace.
Eight.
Just totally misjudged it.
Nine. Robertson 9.
Wow. Two of the game's greatest potters, and they both missed easy blacks off the spot now. So there is quite a bit of tension out there, even for these multiple winners.
One.
Never shows much emotion, Neil Robertson, in his chair, but neither player does actually, but he'll be absolutely fuming sat there in his chair.
7.
I always say at this level, missing blacks off his spot is unforgivable.
8.
You could say, obviously, getting to the business end of the finals, a lot of pressure out there, but these two players normally play better the more pressure that's on. So I don't subscribe to that being the reason he missed the black. It's just carelessness.
Yeah, and he was on the verge there of opening up a
50.
two-frame advantage. He might still do, but that was a golden opportunity for him.
16.
Well, there's only one spot available for the pink. That's the green.
22. $23.
That was a risk he took. When you pot a red and move another red, there's always an element of risk. And he's been unfortunate to knock the red
23.
into that position and snooker himself on the blue.
Green ball.
This is much more difficult. Now,
Trump 23.
both players will be getting a little frustrated with some of the shots they've missed. That was far from easy, that green. He was unlucky to snooker himself on the blue.
Yeah, sure.
It's very tight as to whether this will pot. So easy just to catch the other red. From that picture, it doesn't look as if it does. I mean, he's directly behind it, so he'll know, but still not sure. The reason I don't think it pots is Judd was in a much better position and he took the other one to try and develop a red. So he probably felt that this wasn't on. No. Doesn't matter how well you're playing, Stephen. You can't pot balls that don't go.
Yeah, spent a long time again. Normally those kind of shots, your first inclination is the correct one. You kind of know straight away, but sometimes you try and convince yourself.
One.
Now, let's see how confident is Judd, feeling he's going to take the green on. Not shying away from anything. But it's not a great shot. Okay, he's got the straight red to the green pocket, the far right corner, but he wants something easier than this. It's all a bit of a struggle at the moment for both players.
5.
And that's not the best shot he's ever played.
10.
Now faced with a tricky cutback. Should have been straighter on this. He's now had a look at the other one. The possibility of a double. Back to his first choice. No. Cutting those back.
Judd Trump, 10.
It's like we say, into a blind pocket. You haven't got the pocket in your eye line. You're looking away from the pocket. You're relying just on sheer judgment.
One. Eight.
Yellow and brown are a good target to get the snooker behind. Is that a bit too hard?
Neil Robertson, 8.
Amazing. He thought the safety shot was just as difficult a shot as taking the pot on, and what a result he's had there. Whenever he missed it, he would have feared the worst.
Yeah, I kind of think this a shot like that, if Judd Trump was able to get it, would just give him that bit of inspiration. I feel he needs something just to spark into life in this final. He's an inspirational player.
Well, he's been handed a wonderful chance. Neil's normally so good at getting out of snookers and knocking the red safe, but he misjudged that one badly.
Absolutely dead straight, the red. That's why he's not down playing it already. And the brown being where it is just making it awkward to get position on the yellow.
One.
So it looks like he's going to play the brown and play some sort of cannon, possibly on the yellow, or the pink up and down the table. But this is not an easy shot. Oh, if you flick too much right hand side on this, you'll be nowhere. He's played it well. Okay, he's not perfect. It wasn't easy at all to get perfect on the yellow, but he's got a shot, and the cue ball will be naturally coming down to the green. Wow. Okay, it was an easy snooker. It was a difficult pot, but
Judd from
I'm
7.
still surprised that he didn't play the pot.
You think you can go twice across the table and land on the yellow? That's available to him.
Here he is. Perhaps, okay, obviously Judd is left-handed, so he'd have to use the rest to go for the pot. I think it was on the other side of the table. He wouldn't have hesitated, but still surprised he didn't have a go.
Foul on a miss. Judd from 4. Back.
Just needs to readjust slightly. Doesn't want the white going in the pocket because the yellow will cut in from the balk area.
Judd.
This is better. Is it hard enough? It's not going to reach. Got
Foul
the
and a
line
miss. Judd from 4.
right.
Neil. Judd. Foul on a miss. Judd from 4.
Surprised it's taking him this many attempts to escape from this, but he'll hit it this time. Just. Think he can just avoid the middle pocket and get to the yellow off a couple of cushions or even direct, but he's looking down the left side of the table. That's much more difficult to hit from that side, but what he's thinking at the moment, if I happen to get the 2 cushions, I might get the snooker behind the black. That's the only reason I can think he's going this way. And it's a free ball, but I think he's going to be
Foul on a
okay.
miss. Free ball. Judd from 4.
take the free ball and try and make it a little more difficult. The one thing you can't do in this sort of situation, you can't roll up behind the colour and play a snooker. If you snooker your opponent behind the ball that you nominate, it's a foul shot.
Brown ball.
He's now looking down the easier side of the table, the right hand side, but there's just enough room to slip around the back of the yellow, believe it or not. Well, he gets a round of applause, but I can tell you what, he didn't play that shot. He's just content to hit it and hopefully knock it safe.
Foul on the miss. Neil Robertson 4. You have it, Dizzy? Yes? Okay. Yeah? Neil, thank you.
It's a thin snick. Don't want to be putting the yellow on. That's well played. Excellent shot. And once again, you just got to try and hit this and hope that you can knock it safe. And that certainly is safe. They're all important frames, but this is a huge frame. If the Australian can open up a 2-frame advantage at this stage of the final, it could be quite telling. Another long frame for these two players, coming up to half an hour.
Foul on the miss.
Well, it's a free
Neil
ball,
Robertson
but
4. Free ball.
there's no easy colour to take and then get back onto the yellow. The green's quite a thin snick.
Yeah, and if the green didn't go back in its spot, I suppose you could play for the yellow into the green pocket, but obviously when the green goes back in its spot, the yellow won't go. Because that's the pretty much the only positional shot you'd have. Going to right middle, off the baulk cushion. I didn't think Dennis would have so many frames like this in this final. Over 30 minutes. We've had a 41 minuther. Plenty over 20 minutes. Not the final I expected at all. Neil, I think, is starting to get bogged down, and he's taking a long time to make decisions.
Yeah, well, he can have the ball replaced. He's got a free ball, or he can put Judd in from where the balls are sitting. He can take the blue and try and get tight in behind the black to make it a much more difficult snooker to escape from.
Back.
Well, he thought for over 2 minutes and decided to have it put back again. He's still not sure if he's made the right decision.
Let's see, for the brown, please. This way. Okay.
It's Desi there, one of the top
Neil.
referees
Judd,
directing
thank you.
procedures here. Well, he's got the chance. We've seen him miss a few long pots. Wee bit of pressure on this one. Nowhere near the pot. But he's got away with it. He's fluked the snooker. He's having a good run of the ball at the moment.
I think he's putting himself off with the time he's taken in some of these shots. He's just knocked any semblance of rhythm out of his game. It's very difficult after spending 2 minutes, a minute and a half on shots to come back when you've got a pot to take on and be able to find that rhythm.
The brown going safe has put a whole new complexion on this frame. Before it was knocked onto the cushion, one mistake could have cost either player the frame.
No, it's a great shot.
Foul on the miss.
Is this a free
Judd
ball?
trump 4. Free ball.
It's a free ball. It just shows the importance of that brown being knocked safe. Judd can take the black as his free ball. Going to need a good shot to get up to the yellow though. And if anyone can do it, it's this man. Watch the white. Lots of reverse side on that.
2.
Well, if he's finished straight, it's very unlucky. Again, if anyone can do it, he can. Get position on the green from this. It's just magnificent cueing. And he's unlucky again. I mean, the distance the cue ball's travelled, and he's on the cushion. Can't get to the brown from here. Well, you say that with a bit of trepidation, but it's Judd trump. He can't get to the brown, but can't see it.
If that white had finished about 12 inches short of where it's landed, he'd have been perfect on the green to even bring the brown into play. Don't know if he can push the green past the pink and play the snooker here. Just taking
7.
the pot and then trying to get in behind the black here with the cue ball. Got to keep the brown safe also.
Judd trump 7.
You would normally send the brown around the angles and miss the black, but he get it onto the ball cushion. And that was the problem. Oh, it's Judd's turn to have a run of the ball. Just holds his hand up to apologise, but
Thank you, Neil.
you've just got to try and escape from the snooker and hope that you can knock it safe. Very difficult to judge how to just flick off the brown and knock it near a cushion from this sort of situation.
Far on the miss. Just round 4.
You've just got to play it with a little bit of pace and hope you have a little bit of good fortune.
Yep.
That's quite incredible. It's amazing what's going on there this time. Neil holds his hand up. This now the longest frame of this final. Just over 41 minutes. Who would have thought we would have had two 40-minute frames from these dynamic potters? It's coming up to 10 past 10. Before this final started, I thought we'd all been tucked up in bed now, but it's going to be climax to this year's Betway UK Championship, that's for sure. Plenty of tension, mistakes.
Well, you couldn't call it thrilling at the moment, Dennis.
He's just finding it very difficult to see the shot straight away, isn't he? He's over a minute again, thinking time. Can Judd see enough of the brown? It's very tight. Well, he's got a good view. We've got a terrific view from this side, and that is very, very tight. He's got to play it with a bit of pace. And it's so easy to just flick the pink.
This is incredible. Both players taking over a minute for every shot at the moment. A game that both players had found so easy for the majority of this championship, they're now finding very, very difficult.
It's a bit like the good old days watching Eddie Charlton play Terry Griffiths at the moment. From two of the game's greatest potters ever. It's just how the frames have panned out, and they've been making the odd mistake here and there. Excellent safety there. Got to be a little bit careful. I don't think he'll plant the black into the pocket. I'm just glancing at the scoreboard. He could do with the black in play. At the moment, Judd requires brown and blue, and Neil needs all 4 remaining colours. He didn't have to hit it
Foul
that
and a
thin.
miss. Should run 4, free ball.
Even a 3/4 ball would have sent the black into play and the brown would have stayed there.
Ping ball.
Like that shot. And even better had the pink have finished tight on the cushion.
Foul and a miss. Should run 4.
20 the difference now, so he must hit the brown this time.
Maybe a bit.
Plenty of points given away there and fouls. Can he play the snooker here? A little thin one.
He did have a chance to play the brown up the table, leave the cue ball.
Sorry.
Here there, Judd. I think that would have been a more productive shot than this. Robertson will just play off the cushion, dead weight into the brown. I suppose if he did happen to miss it, he needs a snooker.
Well, that was a bit of a risk. He wasn't sure what was going to happen to Brown there. He's got a good cue ball, but I'll tell you what, good thing the whites landed there, because to say the white had stopped around the yellow spot, Neil could have taken the brown on and tried to bring the pink into play when potting it, and would have finished on the blue. So it was so important for Judd to get a good cue ball there. Who would have thought, over 50 minutes. So So one good long putt required here to level the match up.
The cue ball's missing the blue. He doesn't want to go for this and then move the pink. Missed the brown. Oh, what a pot.
Oh.
What a pot. Eventually, Dennis.
After all the tactical and safety play on
Very
the length of the
conceded
frame, in
chipper.
fact, he's not even going to get the long rest out to play it. Neil said that's enough. Over 50 minutes. And what an important frame that could turn out to be. We're all square again at 7 frames each.